Are there splits in Fano? Is Fano fully united? I have received a piece of information from a zone in the Amhara region where reportedly issues are emerging between Fano leadership and the tier 2, tier 3 commanders. Secondly, Hamati RSF chief, visited Uganda recently. Sudanese military is protesting, criticizing Uganda for hosting Hamati. Hamati delivered a speech there. What did he say? And lastly, is beer at least, not at least, at last becoming stable against US dollar? Any indication of that? Welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching. Firstly, bear dollar exchange rate. You know that since July 2024, bear has been falling against US dollar. And macroeconomic reform were introduced in July 2024. Open or official market dollar price against bear was 57 bear per dollar. But back then, dollars were not available in open market. And in black market, it was 120 bear per dollar. Macroeconomic reforms were introduced. Foreign exchange market was liberalized. Banks were allowed to buy and sell dollars. Foreign exchange bureaus were established, and determination of price exchange rates, was left to the market. Ethiopian government tried to kill black market, but black market could not be killed. Instead, dollar started rising in both open market and black markets. You know that the National Bank of Ethiopia, NBE, sells dollars to private banks. It holds dollar auctions after every 2 weeks generally. And 2 days ago, National Bank of Ethiopia again sold dollars to banks, private banks. $500 million were up for sale. Only $450 million were bought by 27 banks. $50 million were not purchased by the banks. It is being seen, and the dollars were purchased at a rate of 154 bir per dollar. It is being said that since $50 million were not purchased by banks, it means that banks have sufficient amount of dollars. That bear is now becoming stable against a dollar. Well, either bear is at last becoming stable against dollar. Banks have sufficient reserves of dollar, or the people, traders, etc., they're buying dollars in black market, and now they're not buying a lot in open market. That is why they don't. That is why there is no real demand for dollar in open market. So we'll have to wait to see. Good sign overall, a good sign. Seems to be a good sign for the Ethiopian economy that at least bear is becoming stable against dollar. We'll have to wait to see if the stability continues for the next few months. It means that at last bear is becoming stable against dollar. Secondly, viewers, Hamati, RSF chief, visited Uganda recently. Now, Sudanese government of Al Burhan is criticizing Uganda for hosting Hamati. Hamati visited Kenya too. He visits UAE very frequently. Hamati delivered a speech in Uganda, and there he said that fighters from Tigray and other foreign fighters are fighting on Sudanese military side, that Al Burhan is recruiting foreign fighters. In the past, to Houthi leveled direct allegations against TPLF. He said TPLF fighters are fighting on Sudanese military side against RSF. While TPLF is supporting Al Burhan in Sudan, Ethiopian government, federal government is supporting RSF and establishment of RSF training camps, military camps in Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia, confirmed from their attacks being carried out on Sudanese territory and Sudanese military. But Tigray and federal government are on opposing sides in Sudanese civil war. Houthi has also been deploying foreign fighters. Colombian fighters are operating in Sudan in support of RSF. South Sudanese fighters are operating, maybe from Ethiopia too, from Somalia as well. RSF fighters, fighters for RSF are being recruited and deployed. So both sides are recruiting fighters from abroad to fight in Sudanese civil war. This is what happens, by the way, when war expands, when several parties get involved in a war, and so many players intervene and situation turns into a complex situation. Houthi claimed that he's basically fighting Islamists, Brotherhood, Muslim Brotherhood, other organizations. He's fighting them, he said. This is what Houmathi's RSF always says. Basically, he wants to portray himself as someone who is fighting terrorism to be acceptable to international community, to Americans, to Westerners, that he's the one who opposes terrorism, that Sudanese military supports Muslim extremists, but he is fighting them. Basically, fight between Al Burhan and RSF is for power. It has ethnic color. It has maybe religious color too, but mainly it's ethnic color. It's an ethnic war and political war, mainly a political war with some ethnic shades. Lastly, viewers, is Fano fully united, or are there issues between Fano commanders and their tier 2, tier 3 commanders? You know that AFNM has been established. AFNM, Amhara Fano National Movement, is the only representative Fano organization in the Amhara region. It was formed after the merger of AFNF, Amhara Fano National Force, and AFPO, Amhara Fano People's Organization of Skandar Naga. AFNM is led by Zameen Akasi. Makatao is deputy chief of AFNM. Makatao, you know, is from Shewa. He's deputy commander of AFNM, and he was one of the main commanders of AFPO. He and Skandar Naga were two main commanders in AFPO. The report which I have received is from North Shore zone of the Amhara region. North Shore was the center of AFPO's activities, if you remember. Skandar, Makatao were leading AFPO in Shewa. In Shewa, AFNF could not really establish itself and fully control North Shore. Rather, AFNF and AFPO fought in Shewa. They killed each other's men. Ultimately, they agreed to form AFNF. But what I have learned is that tier 2, tier 3 commanders in Shewa are not happy with Makatao. I don't want to disclose names. Perhaps it will be premature to disclose names. The commanders could be in danger. There could be threats to them, because now if anyone is opposing the main commanders in Amhara, they're not being tolerated. They are being fixed. That is why these commanders are expressing their views silently. They have grievances against Makatao. And you know that now AFNM, Shewa has both AFPO and AFNF. That is why problems in Shoa Fano about internal unity are understandable. Will Megatau be able to continue keeping Fano united in Shoa? Let's see. Issues are there reportedly. Thanks for watching.